Adventure calls. From between the whispering pages of countless volumes, adventure urges you to make a choice. Escape a dungeon dark, dive into an ocean deep, or discover a planet unknown. There is only one rule. Always choose your own adventure, bros. The Choose Your Own Adventure Bros is recorded live on the Fulcrum Entertainment channel, where the audience chooses the story. This week, we are reading Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Hello and welcome to the Fulcrum Entertainment channel. You have tuned in to the Choose Your Own Adventure Brothers, and we are here playing today Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, a Choose Your Own Adventure adaptation of the movie. Now, I'm having some connection issues with my brother Jackson. He's appearing in my StreamYard, but saying the devices aren't connected, so I don't know quite what's happening there with him, but we'll try and get to him in a moment. We have some comments. Hey, Sam Cuthbert is there in the chat saying, yes, more Star Wars. Yes, we return to Star Wars, Sam. And we have Googe there as well saying, I want in on this. I hope you are there in the chat with us, Googe, and enjoying. Let's see. I don't know if Jackson can see us. Let's try and see if we can get that changed. And I'll see if I can message him to get him onto the stream. I don't know what's happening at his end. I think there might be some technical difficulties with the connection. Sorry, it didn't show you, Jackson. I don't know what's going on with that. Show you in the stream. Technical difficulties are, of course, what we are used to here on YouTube and trying to do anything live. Sorry about that, friends, but it's always the first couple of minutes, so we can chill out for a little while people jump in the chat. Because we want a few of you there, because you're going to be playing along with us today. You're going to be playing along, voting for the decisions. So this book, I believe, is the similar style as the first Star Wars one that we did. The first Star Wars that we did was an adaptation of A New Hope. So in A New Hope, we were playing as this new character that was Luke's best friend. So you were sort of on Tatooine with Luke. However, you were this new character that had never been there before. We had quite a bit of fun there. We ended up spending a lot of time on Tatooine. One of the endings we got was we stayed there as a farmer and had a peaceful life instead of going off and joining the rebellion. Although, of course, that was in no way the best ending that we got. We had some fun times exploring the dark side. And I'm hoping those avenues will be open to us in this book as well. Yeah, okay. So don't know why I'm not getting you, Jackson. You're not turning up anywhere in the stream at the moment. Okay. We're going to continue and hope that he can pop up and join us soon. So let's look at this book. Choose Your Own Adventure, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back by Christopher Golden. What price would you pay to learn the ways of a Jedi Knight? The fight against evil rages on. You have the power to decide your future and the fate of the galaxy. You could go to Dagobah and learn the ways of the Force from Yoda, but Darth Vader tempts you with the power of the dark side. Will you help your friends in the rebellion fight the Emperor? Or will you betray Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and all who love you to seize unlimited power for yourself? And there's a way inside to get free micro machines. How 90s. Let's see, my brother is saying that the browser can't access his mic or his cam. Probably needs some permissions changed in the settings, I would have thought. My apologies, my friends. So let's continue on to actually start reading. This book has got some quite good illustrations, so I'm really looking forward to seeing those. Find out of the Force within you in this further adventures of Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo. Look for the limited collector's edition of A New Hope and Return of the Jedi at a bookstore near you. Choose your own Star Wars adventure. The Empire Strikes Back. Let's run through. Come on, come on, come on. We've seen this before. We know what we're into. Page 1. We are opening, as of course this movie does, on the ice planet of Hoth. It's cold. Freezing, in fact. You can't believe that a planet as frozen as Hoth exists in your universe. You do not want to go back outside, but you chose this life. You were born and raised far away on the planet Tatooine, a dust ball where moisture farming is big business and where twin suns shine every day. But you and your best friend, Luke Skywalker, always wanted to be fighter pilots, not moisture farmers. You pause for a minute and remember the remarkable events that changed your life so completely. Not so long ago, you and Luke had a chance to taste excitement when you were drawn into the rebellion against the evil Empire. During your adventures, you were joined by the aging Jedi Knight Ben Kenobi, a young rebel leader named Princess Leia, a roguish intergalactic smuggler named Han Solo, and his first mate, the Wookiee Chewbacca, as well as a pair of droids called R2-D2 and C-3PO. With this mismatched crew, you and Luke helped lead the rebellion to an important victory. Luke himself fired the blast that destroyed the Death Star, the Empire's most fearsome weapon. Learn more on page 53. That's quite far to go for the second page of the book, but all right, let's zoom down. We've got to 55. Here we are, 53. However, the war against evil is far from over. The Rebel Alliance had to abandon its secret base despite its victory when the Imperial Starfleet followed the Millennium Falcon to Yavin 4 and launched an offensive that the Rebel fleet could not hope to win. You are now a member of Rogue Squadron, a division of X-Wing fighter pilots hidden at a secret base on the ice planet Hoth. Luke is the squadron leader. Luke and the other Rebel leaders have realized that the Empire will be searching for you all. As part of the setup for Hoth security, sensors must be hidden all around the Rebel base. Along with Luke and Han Solo, you volunteered to plant these sensors. You are standing in the hangar bay next to Luke when Han Solo saunters over and interrupts your thoughts. "Let's go, folks," he says. "It's a little early, but we've got a lot of sensors to place today." "I'll get the Tauntaun saddled," you say. "Great," Han cries sarcastically. "We can all work out our suntans. Don't forget the heavy-duty underwear, kid." Brave the Cold on page 37. I remember this from the first book, and I really appreciate the nice little changes of language that it uses rather than just saying, turn to this page. But we get a little bit of flavor to it. It's nice. 35. 37. Outside the base, the three of you ride Tauntauns, large, leathery-skinned animals well suited to the cold on Hoth. During the day, at least. At night, Hoth's surface isn't fit for any living thing, except perhaps the horrible Wampa ice creatures. You, Luke, and Han split up and spend several hours planting sensors. After a while, you regroup to check on each other's progress. "Have either of you picked up any life readings so far?" Luke asks. "All I'm picking up are saddle sores," you mutter, shifting uncomfortably on top of your Tauntaun. "I came across a carcass. Looked a couple of days old," Han says. "Probably killed by one of those Wampa. They'll go after anything they can find. Listen, we placed all our sensors and I'm cold. I'm going back to the base. You two coming?" "I saw a meteorite coming down not far from here, and I want to check it out first. It won't take long," Luke replies. "And what about you?" Han asks. So here we have our first choice, people. Let me know what you think. Do we want to stick with Luke and try to find the meteorite, or do we want to go back to the warm Rebel base with Han? Let's see. I'm not hearing any news from just. Let's see what's happening. Oh, no, all those message things that I got were not to do with that. What is that? Sorry, guys, just checking on things to see if I can get my brother back into the stream. So, what have we got? We got some people joining us in the chat. I'm really happy to see David Hello, David. How are you? You had me at Star Wars. Thank you. I'm very happy to hear that you are happy with that. Let's see. I hope that Han doesn't stuff me into the disemboweled body of a Tauntaun. Well, it depends what choices you make. If we're staying out with Luke in the cold, it could be that we're going to succumb to hypothermia and maybe need to be stuffed into a corpse. Let's see. David K, I love your Luke and Han voices. Well done. Thank you very much. David is saying 66. So that is to stay out with Luke to go see that meteorite, which I guess, as people who have seen the movie, we're probably all thinking is actually a scout droid. I believe it's a scout droid it's called. If I'm getting that name wrong, please do let me know. Sam says, hell no. Which one is that? Is the hell no to staying out in the cold, or is it hell no to going back inside? Order 66. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, that's a good point. Let's see. Dan says, stick with Han and warm rebels. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, and Sam says, don't want to be eaten by a wampa. Okay, well, I'm afraid, David, I think you're being outvoted there. I think that the votes are going to go inside with Han to stay warm because, yeah, people don't want to die. And we don't want to get eaten by a wampa. It's really cold out there. So let's go over to page 84. Let's see, it's going to be a bit further down in the book. What are we on? Ooh, too far. 103. Back up. 93. Come on. 81. Just a little bit further. 84. You return to the base with Han. Shortly after you reach it, night falls. Outside, the wind whips ice across the surface of Hoth, and the temperature has dropped so low that the air is barely breathable. Nothing could survive out there very long. As you change clothes in your quarters, there is a knock at the door. Enter, you call. The door slides open to reveal Princess Leia on the other side. Behind her, C-3PO and R2-D2 stand in the corridor. Princess, you say, have you come to join me for dinner? But even as you ask, you notice that Leia looks worried. Have you seen Luke since you came back in? She asks. No, you reply. We didn't come back together. He wanted to check out some meteorite he saw come down. He's probably with Han. I've been trying to reach Han, but he doesn't answer. I haven't spoken to anyone who's seen Luke this morning, Leia says with concern. I have a meeting right now. Could you help Leia on page 101? Oh, that David saying already. I can't wait to hear him read I Am Your Father. And Dan, they're saying he can always sleep inside the wampa. Yes, I suppose he could. Yep. Let's see what we're getting. 101. Okay. 99. 101. No problem, you say. I'm sure Han is tinkering with the Falcon again. I'm sure if he knows where... I'll see if he knows where Luke is. We'll accompany you, C-3PO says. You hurry off while the droids hustle to keep up. 3PO is constantly complaining, as always, and R2 beeps angrily at him. Don't you try to blame me, R2. I didn't actually ask you to turn on the heating system. I merely commented that it was freezing in the princess's chamber, 3PO says. R2 beeps and tweedles a response. I really don't know how we're going to dry out all her clothes, 3PO says sadly. As R2 argues with 3PO, you tune out their conversation. Soon, you enter the hangar. Across the bay, you see Chewbacca on top of the Falcon and Han Solo standing under the ship. You took what apart? Han yells up to Chewie. What are you doing, fine-tuning the hyperdrive now? Look at the mess. Are you crazy? As Chewbacca growls an angry response, you approach Han. He sees you coming with the droids and spins around to confront you. Now what? He barks. Deal with Han on page 59. Oh, hello. Skylar's joined the chat. Hey, Skylar, how are you? It's good to have you there. Dan says, thank you for all the audiobooks. Sad time to say, but thanks heaps. Yeah, no worries, man. It's been good. I'm really happy that people are enjoying the audiobooks, and I'm really glad that you like them. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat. So, page 59 to deal with Han. Sorry if I'm a little bit scattered, guys. I'm trying to keep an eye on my phone, see about my brother. Let's see. Okay, my brother is having trouble. Let me see. There he is. Jackson. Congratulations. Thank you. Sorry it was such a trouble to get you in.
Yeah, it's my laptop updated the other day, and everything has just been crap since then. So yeah,
okay.
apologies.
No, I understand laptop troubles all around. All right, speaking of which, I need to keep an eye on my laptop, make sure that everything's cool with that. It's a bit touch and go. Sorry if everything just dies, people, but if it does, there's been a catastrophic failure. Right, okay, so we're on page 59. Catch you up, Jackson. Yeah, we are some strange new character within Star Wars. We are Luke's childhood best friend.
Okay.
This version, because we're on the Empire Strikes Back, it hasn't taken on the evil choices that you can make in the Choose Your Own Adventure version of A New Hope.
Okay.
So we're good guys.
All right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but we can. I think we might be able to choose to go over to the dark side if we want.
You know my complicated relationship with Star Wars, don't you?
I know, but Star Wars gets people here to the channel, so we're doing Star Wars.
Yay.
Okay.
I hope there's lightsabers.
I think there'll be a couple of lightsabers. God, that's really zoomed in. That's a bit too much, I think. Right. So this is a line for you if you'd like to take on the player character.
Okay. Am I a man or?
Your choice. I've been playing as a kind of generic American guy so far.
Okay. I'll try and sound like Mark Hamill, shall I? Leia's been trying to reach you on your comm link.
You tell him. I turned my comm... Oh, sorry, it's Han. I'm being stupid. I turned my comm link off, he says. I don't want to talk to her anymore. It's bad for my disposition.
Well, if you had it on...
You say, angry with Han.
You'd know that the princess is concerned about Luke. Nobody knows where he is.
What do you mean nobody knows? Han says, suddenly serious. He was only a couple of minutes behind us when we rode in. That was more than 2 hours ago.
My point exactly.
You say. Deck officer, Han yells. Deck officer. The officer rushes over. Yes, sir, Captain Solo. Has Commander Skywalker come in? Han asks sharply. Commander Skywalker hasn't come through the main shield door. It's possible he came in through the south entrance. The deck officer replies. It's possible, Han yells. It's possible. Why don't you go? Oh, sorry, that's yours. Ooh, have I lost you, Jackson? You still there with me?
Oh yeah, sorry, lost you for a second there. Why don't you go and find out?
You suggest to the officer. It's already dark and getting colder every minute, Han adds angrily. Where's Luke? Look on page 54. Right, and hello to Anon Ops. This is hello, love your accents. Thank you very much, Anon.
We appreciate it, but
David asks, wasn't his childhood best friend Biggs, who died in A New Hope? Yes, I thought that was the whole thing, but not in this. Like, this is a very different version of Star Wars. You think it wouldn't be that different, but it gets there.
I'm so behind on my Star Wars lore. I thought Wedge was his best friend.
Oh, was it Wedge? It was. I thought Biggs was the guy who was hanging out with on Tatooine, like in all the deleted scenes. But maybe I'm wrong. Oh, way too zoomed in. Right.
I don't know.
A few seconds later, the deck officer returns. Sir, Commander Skywalker hasn't come in the south entrance either, he says anxiously. Nobody's heard from him since before you came in. You and Han stare at each other.
We have to go after him,
you say. Han nods. He turns to the deck officer and asks, have the techs got those snow speeders working? The Falcon's in pieces right now. We don't have anything that can fly in a Hoth blizzard, sir, the officer replies. Is that the same? Oh, I'm sorry, it's still the deck officer. My apologies. We don't have anything that can fly in a Hoth blizzard, sir, the officer replies. Those winds would smash you down before you got halfway to... All right, Han snaps. Forget about it.
Tauntauns?
You ask? Tauntauns, Han replies. But your tauntauns will freeze before the first marker, the deck officer argues. Even with insulated suits on, if you end up on foot, you're dead.
Maybe.
You say.
But if we don't go, Luke will definitely die out there all alone.
So, you can't leave Luke out in the cold. Turn to page 86. Much further down in the book.
Is there not some sort of like force heat he could use on himself?
I suppose, but he's barely trained in the ways of the Force at this point, isn't he?
Yeah. I was taking the piss, really, but the fact that you like treated that as a serious question shows you where Star Wars is right now.
Mate, look, like Star Wars has been just whatever. The Force can do whatever, and it's been like that for quite a while now. Thank you very much. Sam and David are both into my Han. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I feel like the voice of Han is important. It's like that guy who they got to play him kind of looked like Harrison Ford, but didn't sound like Harrison Ford at all. But I assume you haven't seen that. That was the Solo movie, the one where they got Childish Gambino to play Lando.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to get into that. You know my feelings.
Yeah. Now, this one's interesting because, it seems like we found Luke similar to the movie, but we've got an extra Tauntaun now.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of fascinated to know, what happens now.
Suspiciously similar to the movie so far.
Well, I think that's it. You can take the choices that are obviously the movie. So we probably should start leaning into some differences. But let's see. Let's see where the book takes us. So, hang on. Sorry, I just need to clear my throat. A short time later, you and Han ride your Tauntauns out of the base into the raging blizzard. Between the snow and the dark, it's hard to see anything. You try to reach out with what little skill in the Force you have learned. After 3 minutes, you can't feel your hands, feet, or your face anymore. Every time you cry out Luke's name, your throat feels frozen.
Luke!
You shout, ignoring the cold. Tauntauns aren't doing too well, Han tells you. Oh. He's right. The Tauntauns are wheezing and slowing down in the cold. They won't survive for long. Luke! Han cries. Luke! Then you sense something to your left. You turn dimly and make out a spot on the ice darker than the rest. A spot that doesn't move.
Luke!
You shout. Both you and Han jump off your Tauntauns and run to Luke's side. He's delirious, thinking you or Han must be his old friend Ben Kenobi. Luke, speak to me, kid, Han says.
Get him to sit up,
you suggest. So cold, Luke mumbles. Warmer now. Want to go to sleep. Keep Luke awake on page 47.
I'm loving all these choices that I'm getting.
Yeah, we're not getting much at all. I do have to admit that. This is quite a regular book, just in a weird order.
Yeah.
Oh, there was some, taunting stuff there. I think we get a choice here. So, right. Okay, right. So, this is... Let me zoom in for you. This is your line. Warmer, you ask.
Warmer?
You ask.
But I can't just... Whoa. No, Luke, that means you're freezing. Fight it!
Don't go to sleep, Han shouts. Whatever you do, stay awake. Come on, give me a sign, kid. Suddenly, Han's Tauntaun cries out weakly and falls over. What now? Han snaps. We'll never make it back. The three of us on one Tauntaun. Grab Luke's lightsaber, cut my Tauntaun open, get him in there and keep him warm until we can set up the emergency shelter. You're not sure Han's plan is going to work, but you also wonder whether you could survive the trek. So, do we go along with Han's plan, turning to page 12, or do we argue with him and turn to page 36? So this is my bit here. we are going along with the movie if we go with Han's plan. Do we want to see what happens if we just ignore the movie? It's probably going to be a bad ending, but it might open us up to something interesting. Okay, let's see. So David's
I'm down with
saying
that.
going to page 12. So David, I feel like you're a bit of a purist. You want to go along and do what we can to save Luke. Because I guess, like, does our character doesn't seem to have a plan? Like, do you, Jackson? Would you have an alternative to what we do instead of putting him inside the dead Tauntaun?
I mean, not really, but I don't really. I don't just want to read A New Hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, right. So let's go with that then. All right. So let's see. We've got Anon Ops who's agreeing with us. Ignore the movie. Dan also might as well argue, and Skylar is. So sorry, David, but we are going to go on to page 36 and see what happens there. So that's further up.
Is this book seriously? You can just play the movie. It's like,
I mean, but it's weird because it's still not quite the movie.
Yeah. Also, just to let you know, my laptop is keep up with this. You keep kind of the screen keeps freezing and then having to buff. So
okay, shall I do the reading at the moment and we can stop and talk about what's happening in the book?
I can do it for now, but just if I miss a line, that's why.
Cool. Okay, so I will try and let's get zoomed in and get a bit stable. So, right.
Oh, because it's 36, oh yeah.
Yep.
Luke will die if we don't head back, Han.
You insist. Han glances angry at you. He's not going to die. He drags Luke toward the surviving Tauntaun. Don't just stand there whistling, he barks. Help me get him up there. Together, you sling Luke over the Tauntaun's back. Then you pause, staring at the beast. There's no way both of you can fit up there with Luke.
Listen, Han,
you say quickly.
I can try to use the Force to keep myself warm. Fuck off. Get up there with Luke and I'll follow on foot.
It was exactly what you said. I don't know why I'm laughing at you, because that means Star Wars is as bad as you say it is.
Right?
Okay, so I didn't know you could do that, he says.
Do I?
You admit.
But it's our only hope.
Dan, not you, Dan. I meant Han. Han gets on the Tauntaun's back behind Luke and heads toward the base. You tap into the Force as best you can, trying desperately to create warmth from nothing. As fast as you can, you follow Han on the Tauntaun. Your effort warms you up, but slowly the cold seeps in. Your focus starts to slip. Then you stumble upon the second Tauntaun, dead in the snow, with Luke and Han pinned under it, unmoving. Your will to fight the cold gives out. You fall a meter away from Han, and you don't get up again. The end.
Yay!
Nasty. Oh, that'd be so good.
You know,
right, okay, God, where were we when we made that? Oh, where we were, where? I like that. We could literally go back to this one. We could go with Luke to the meteorite, go back to page 66, or we could go back with Han. What would you like to do, Jackson? Since you missed that beginning, would you like to go back to this decision here?
Yeah,
because we originally went with Han back to the base. Well, so you know, right, the beginning of the movie. So like Luke says he's going to go to a meteorite, and we reckon it's going to be a scout droid. So we're going to see like We're going to find out what happens there. See if we can keep Luke from getting hurt.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So as David said,
Yeah,
Order
yeah, let's do that.
66. So
Yeah.
Have you even seen all of the prequels?
I haven't seen Attack of the Clones.
Okay. Yeah.
It's one of those ones I feel like I've seen enough of it just through clips and reviews and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have seen Revenge of the Sith if someone hadn't made me watch it. By basically saying, "Oh no, it's good. This one, it's good, it's good, it's good," and then I watched it and I was just like, like you know what I mean? I was just like, "Oh."
Okay, let's get back to the Star Wars that we're kind of okay with.
Kind of being the operative like word there.
It's old school Star Wars. Come on, we used to have the figures. We used to be into this.
Yeah, it's been poisoned though, hasn't
it? Skylar's saying the prequels aren't that bad. I don't know. I'm trying to.
Well, Skylar is
to
fucking mistaken.
No, we're not going to argue with the audience. We're here to do Star Wars.
Okay. I think Star Wars has been done enough.
This is my channel, man. This is my channel, man. Don't be going. I'm on a Star Wars channel, dude. Don't be going after it.
I think you need the dissenting voice, though. You know, like I can be the Darth Vader of your channel. Look at it that way. I can be the one that comes in and is just like, this all sucks, you know.
Well, Skylar's just paid us $2 to make you say Jar Jar is the best.
Oh my god, do I have to do that? Is that like the law?
Well, it's not the law, but he has given us $2.
Jar Jar is the best.
There we go. Yay, there we are. Oh man. Okay, right. Let's get on to this. So I'll stay with Luke.
Okay. I'll stay with Luke.
You say.
No one should have to freeze alone.
Well, hurry up, Han says. Looks like a bad storm's coming in. Then Han leaves, trotting across the ice on his Tauntaun. You and Luke ride toward the spot where Luke saw the meteorite fall. It is growing dark, however, and soon you won't be able to see a thing.
Hey, Luke.
You call as you catch up.
It's getting colder by the second. You think...
Your Tauntaun starts to stamp its feet nervously. I guess you're right. We won't be able to see each other if it gets any darker, Luke says. Let's go. Then his Tauntaun starts to act up too. All right, baby. That's an interesting thing for you to call the Tauntaun. Luke chides. We're going home now.
It gets lonely on Hoth, man.
Lonely and cold out here in the snow.
Yeah.
Staying warm inside my Tauntaun. It's like, that Tauntaun's alive.
This ain't the first time I'm at a Tauntaun.
There's a sudden roar behind you. You turn as the Wampa Iced Beast slams a huge hand into you, knocking you from your Tauntaun. The last thing you see is the beast slashing Luke's Tauntaun with its claws, then lifting Luke from the snow. So we turn to page 91. Can we save Luke? Do we have the upper edge now there's two of us? Or are we just both going to get our ass handed to us? Right.
Well, I mean...
So...
If it follows the plot of the movie, like, sure.
Sorry, Jackson, we're really, really losing you there. I can't hear anything from you. Sorry about that, man. Yeah, so just go carry on with this if that's all right. So you might need to like maybe reset your connection or something. I'm not sure. Here on page 91.
Do it now.
When you come to, both you and Luke are hanging upside down inside a huge cave. Your legs are encased in ice. You can't move them at all. Luke's still unconscious, and there are nasty bruises on his face where the Wampa struck him. Luke, wake up, you whisper. We've got to get out of here. Oh, Dan, thank you very much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, thanks for the audiobooks. Keep me going through work. Thank you very much, Dan. I'm really glad that they do. Workforce Unite or Represent. Sorry, Workforce Represent. And Unite as well. If you guys can get into a union, do. Unions can be good for you. Yeah, thanks very much. I hope that your shifts always go well. I'm hoping to get more audiobooks out. I need to fix up issues with my laptop, but unfortunately, like I said, it's a bit touch and go and needs repair right now. I'm hoping maybe I can get some sort of upgrade along with it, but we'll see. Hopefully, I should be back up and running next week to get out the next part of Slave Ship, the second book of the Bounty Hunter Wars. Now, Luke's eyes flicker open. Quickly, he takes in the situation. We haven't got much time, he says. I'm sure the Wampa had the Tauntauns for dinner, but that means we're dessert. He reaches to his side for his lightsaber, but it's gone. Where? He says, glancing around. There, you shout. Deep in the cave, you hear the Wampa stir. The lightsaber is stuck in the snow and ice almost a meter away. Without it, there's no way you can free yourself from the ice fast enough to escape. Jackson's back in time to escape from the Tauntaun.
Ooh.
You stretch out and try to reach it, but it's too far away. There's no chance you'll get it. The Force, Luke whispers. Deeper in the cave, but closer than before, the Wampa roars once more. We can use the Force like Ben taught us, Luke insists. Help me. Together, we can grab it. I thought we'd get a choice there. I thought there'd be like a use the Force or do something else, but no, we're just going on to page 26.
No.
What are we doing? Page 26. Come on now. Come on, 26. Come to me, baby. Oh, here we go. And we get a nice illustration of the Wampa.
Yeah, that must be us. Yeah.
These are good. I mean, like, you know,
Yeah.
they're just kind of like pencil sketches, but I really appreciate them. They look like concept art.
Yeah. I mean, if I was being cynical, I might say they are concept art.
I mean, the concept art for Star Wars didn't have two of them in. Like, this is someone just like, you know, I appreciate it was done fast, but it was done fast relatively well.
Yeah.
So,
Luke,
you say,
you're so much more skilled with the Force.
All right. Just trust in it, he says. The lightsaber is closer to you, so we'll will it to your hands. Cut yourself down, and then me. You nod. It's hard to concentrate, but your life and the life of your best friend depend upon it. You reach out with the Force. You can feel Luke doing the same. It's as if your minds are working together. You focus on the lightsaber. It begins to move. A moment later, it flies from the snow with the sound of cracking ice and comes right for your hand. With the flick of a switch, the lightsaber roars to life, but the sound has alerted the Wampa. You can hear a roar and the pounding of feet as it stomps through the cave toward you. With a single slash of the lightsaber, you cut yourself free. Quickly, you spring to your feet and spin to free Luke, but it's too late. The Wampa ice beast emerges from the back of the cave. Run! Luke shouts. Get help! You're tempted to do as he says, but if you run, Luke may die. So here, we finally have another choice. Do we stay and fight, or do we run for help? So let's face it, the sensible thing would be to run.
I don't know, you know. I mean, like, we are holding like one of the most powerful weapons in the universe. Like,
I guess so, yeah. We have seen in the movie what it can do to a Wampa.
Yeah. Isn't it like it can basically cut through anything? It's like, apart from another lightsaber blade. That's like its thing.
Yeah, there are definitely things. There are other materials as well. Beskar, big deal thing now at the moment now is that lightsabers can't go through it. It's a metal. And there's like
Okay.
a weird metal that someone, I think Googe in the comments of one of the things told us that like, it might be Matt Curtis actually, who said that it was, what was it? There's a metal that shorts out lightsabers. So like,
Right.
it's not that it can't pass through them, but it like stops them.
Right.
Patrick, thank you very much for joining us. Glad to see you. Patrick and Skylar and Samuel and Dan, I think we're getting everyone saying fight. So let's
Yeah.
do this thing. Let us kick this furry ass. Too far up. Come on. Come on. Come on, PDF. Get me to where I need to be.
I'm glad I'm not
Okay,
the only one
fine.
whose computer is completely potatoing at the moment.
Yeah, not great. It'd be really nice if I could get myself something that works a little better, runs a little faster.
I think mine's just been choked to death by, you know, random files and just like me never like doing disk cleanups and like...
Yeah. I discovered that thing that I have a solid state drive, and I didn't realize that you don't really defrag solid state drives. That's just not a
No,
thing. You just need to be tidy.
Yeah.
So, okay. You are staying.
No!
You shout.
I'm not leaving you!
The Wampa swings a mighty clawed paw down at you. You spin inside the beast's attack and cut deeply into its arm, drawing blood. It bellows in pain and swipes at you again, but you duck and roll and come up again a few feet from Luke. Pretty good, Luke says, as you melt the ice that pins his feet to the cavern roof. He falls to the ground with a grunt.
Before I read this line, how did we draw blood? Lightsabers don't draw blood.
Yeah, surely they like cauterize the wound as they go
Yeah.
through. That's a good point. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I paid attention to your lessons.
You say. With a roar, the Wampa launches itself across the cave at both of you.
But it's still your weapon, old friend.
You say.
I think you should hang on to it.
You toss the lightsaber through the air. It flips over twice. Luke catches it without even glancing at it. He's watching the Wampa. The ice beast sees you throw the weapon, but is still heading towards you. I think it likes you, Luke says.
Either that or it's mad about that little cut I gave it.
You say, joking, even though you are terrified. I'm not sure I like this, like them wisecracking. Will the Wampa attack on page 23? I mean, if the Wampa doesn't attack,
like, it feels like it's in the spirit of the original movies, doesn't it? It's like there would have been wisecracking if there'd been two of them.
That's true. Yeah, and I suppose that is like not that far from a kind of Han Solo. Like, I think she likes you, kid.
Try and imagine like Empire Strikes Back if like Eddie Murphy accompanied Luke wherever he went.
This is a little bit what it's like. It is like
yeah.
I was thinking it's a bit like Samwise Ganges or something. Like it's like if Luke had a little Sam, like going around and picking up after him.
Yeah.
I like the Skylar saying the dynamic between us and Luke is weird. And, Dan also thinks we're going to get a whomping from the Wampa. Suddenly, the Wampa throws its weight at you. Luke moves to block the attack, forcing the Wampa to turn and defend itself by swatting him away. Luke dodges under its hand to slash at its legs. The beast roars and reaches for him again, more cautious this time. Luke takes advantage of the Wampa's fear and with one mighty swipe of his blade, chops off the Wampa's hand. The fight has obviously been more than the Wampa bargained for. You watch as it runs deep into the cave, roaring in pain and holding onto a stump where its hand used to be. Luke turns off his lightsaber. Thanks, old friend, you say. Oh, sorry, I got confused there.
Thanks, old friend,
you say.
I do believe you saved my life.
You did the same for me, he replies. Now we got to get out of here in case this thing has a mate. I guess it's time to find out why they call Hoth the ice planet. I mean, I thought you already knew. It seems
I thought
apparently
we already
obvious.
knew that.
Oh shit, that's literally the line after it. What? This book is saying the thing. What? Yeah, book, that was stupid. Why did you put it in there?
Do you want me to give you that again?
That's just the dumbest thing. No, I was genuinely saying, like, what, dude? Why would you say that?
Yeah.
Moments after you leave the cave, you feel your hands, feet, and face going numb. Your thoughts start to slow down.
Are we sure this is the right way?
Find out on page 32. What is this that Skylar's saying in the... Does anyone remember the Wampa Swarm mission from the original Star Wars Battlefront 2? Wampa... No. No. I remember... I can't remember what it was. It No, it wasn't Shadows of the Empire. There was an N64 like FPS Star Wars game where you had to like fight a bunch of Wampa, or you could fight a bunch of Wampas. You could open a door on Hoth and it would release like a whole bunch of Wampas.
Have you seen that Star Wars deleted scene where it's like C-3PO running through the Hoth base as the Empire storms it, and he does the little button to open the Wampa cave, and a Wampa arm just comes out and grabs a guard and pulls it in. That's pretty good.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's like they really obviously like couldn't be asked to like get the full guy in the costume, so it's literally just an arm comes out and like drags a stormtrooper in. It's really good. Like, yeah, I can see why you cut that.
I'm sure, Luke replies. You're glad to have him along. With his skill in the Force, you're certain that he knows what he's talking about. You move on, doing your best to keep up, just walking. Luke talks into the comlink on his wrist. Echo 3 to Echo Base, come in. He groans. It's an emergency. Freezing out here. Need help. Please come in, Echo Base. You trudge through the snow, hoping that someone will hear Luke and get to your location fast enough to save you from freezing to death. Echo 3 to Echo Base? Luke tries again. Please, come in.
They're not going to hear you.
You tell Luke.
Remember what they said about the ice crystals and the cold affecting the surface communications after dark? We're not going to make it, Luke.
Luke stops walking and turns to you. Don't give up. Ever, he says. You walk on, but after another few meters, you fall to the snow. Luke tries to help you up, only to fall himself. Lying in the snow, you realize that you are going to die. Turn to page 104. So, it feels a bit weird that, like, it was easier to die when we go to save Luke. I feel like we have to survive this. Well, I don't know how we survive this.
Well, Han's going to show up, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's only got one Tauntaun this time.
That's all right. Like, he'll put us in the back and Luke in the front. I don't know.
Player in the back and Luke in the front.
Yeah.
A Star Wars mullet. So, 104. Then, you hear it. In the distance, someone is calling your name. Then Luke's name. Too weak to do more than roll over, you stare at Luke, whose eyes are closed. You worry that he may already be dead. But Han is coming. You can hear his Tauntaun's hooves crushing the ice. After a moment, Luke stirs. Dagobah, he says, the words slurred. Dagobah. Ben? Ben? Is Luke hallucinating about Ben? Well, at least he is still alive. Then you hear the snort and gobble of a Tauntaun right next to you. Whoa, girl! Here they are! Han shouts.
Han!
You say? Yeah, it's me, he says. So cold. Luke mumbles, though his eyes are open now. Han, so cold, but I'm getting warmer now. I think I can sleep. No, Luke. Is that, yeah, it's Han talking. No, Luke, that means you're freezing. Fight it. Don't go to sleep. Don't give up on me now. I didn't drag you two kids off Tatooine just to see you die here. Han shouts. Then you hear him whisper next to your ear. Come on, help me here. Try to move your legs. We've got to get all three of us onto this tauntaun. Fight the cold and turn to page 34. I feel like so much of this book is just Hoth.
Yeah.
Like
I was about to say,
like
so
we've
much
gone
of this
all
book
the
is just a
way.
movie.
Yeah. And I'm not that surprised by it, but like I would have thought like getting off Hoth would be easier than this. I'm like, when do we get to do the rest of this film?
Oh, you've frozen.
Oh dear. Okay. Sorry about that. Patrick wants us to cuddle. Sorry, Dan says Han shoots first. Shoots who first, Dan? Who's he shooting? Oh god, this is way too slow. They need to move the story along. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, like let's just. Why do we have to have multiple pages for just like getting on the tauntaun?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I was writing a Star Wars choose your own adventure book, like, I wouldn't even do the film at all. You know what I mean? Or if I was going to do the film, it'd be like this character who's in the background in this one scene. This is their adventure now. You know, something like that.
Yeah, and I feel like we got a bit of that in the first book. This second book is less good, I feel, than the A New Hope adaptation.
Mind you, though, I bet there's a load of kids that would have read this and just done exactly what happened in the movie, and then felt really pleased with themselves that they got, like, you know, the good ending.
Yeah, I was one of those kids.
Yeah, I think all kids are. You know what I mean? Like, they'll kind of like, you know.
I was really bad like that for video games, like Pokemon as well. Like I'd just play through Pokemon, just complete all the gyms to do that. Not even like, you know, enjoying training Pokemon. I'd be like, just get my Ivysaur, go through everything, go through everything, go through everything.
Did you do the thing where you keep a Pikachu and get it to like level 100 or something, and then it's just like just because that's what Ash does, and then you're like, oh, now I've got like a level 100 Pikachu, and it's like, who the fuck needs that?
I kind of did that I tried to do that a bit on Pokemon Yellow, but that because like, I feel like that's the entire point of Pokemon Yellow.
I got Pokemon Yellow, and then I got halfway through, and I was just like, this is shit. I'm just burdened with this fucking crap Pokemon just because of the cartoon.
Oh yeah, you really weren't in the spirit of that.
Am I just like a big cynic? Is that what it is? It's just like I can't like, you know, like anything.
I don't know. I find it easier to be swept along, like, you know, and like suspend my disbelief, whatever it is.
What's going on? Are we swapping places? You're the man who doesn't like anything.
I liked Pokemon Yellow, but also like what was I like 11, like at most? So like probably that's why.
You're the man who sees Christmas presents as a chore.
Oh, and Skylar thinks you must be super fun at parties.
I am fun at parties. You don't know.
Gilbs, I swear that when I say this, I didn't know it took so much time on Hoth. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't believe that. Anyway, I'll try and get us moving. We're gonna have to come back to this book, I think. If it's moving this slow, we're gonna have to come back to it next week, which only extends your torture, I'm afraid, Jackson. So I'll start reading. But the tauntaun suddenly falls to the ground with a huge thud. Han swears loudly. You realize, though your brain is almost...
Sorry, man.
Oh, sorry, Jackson, losing you again. What's that? Let's just skip straight to the inappropriate... Whoa! To the inappropriate relationship between Luke and Leia. Hey, they are brother and sister, not stepbrother and sister. Don't be bringing your whole bum kind of stuff in here with me, buddy. Okay. Am I the only one who remembers that Luke had a serious crush on Leia in A New Hope? Yeah. No, I do remember that. I do remember that. And Skylar, I think, is just agreeing with David.
It's almost like George Lucas didn't have all the plot thought out before he made the first movie. You know what I mean?
I mean, it helps. I feel like it helps keep the mystery along. And then, like as soon as Luke knows, he's like, oh, that was inappropriate. Oh no. Like I feel like we can trust Luke not to pursue Leia.
Can we trust the contents of his hard drive, though?
Do you know what? We were watching Rogue One yesterday, and we were looking at them and how they have legitimate hard disks. And I'm like, you've mastered intergalactic, like beyond light travel, but we're still working on hard disks.
Yeah, I bet Luke has a VPN. Put it that
way. Well, as Gilbert says, this isn't Game of Thrones, so we have none of that here. So the Tauntaun is dead. Only one thing to do, Han mumbles. You hear a sound like someone cutting leather. Then you notice the most horrible odor you've ever smelled. Luke is dragged away from his spot next to you, and then Han has you under his arms. He slides you into a slimy, stinky hole. But it's warm.
It's not even worth making a joke, is it? It's like...
Dan saying, I don't mind this pace. It's great so far. Well, I'm really glad that you're enjoying it, Dan. I'm glad. I always worry in these live streams for you guys in the audience how it's going. So if this is good for you, then I'm happy. Ooh, now, yeah, Patrick, I think you mentioned this before, Splinter of the Mind's Eye. This like novel, it was a sequel to the novel adaptation of A New Hope. So before any actual sequels had come out. Apparently they go deeper into their romantic interests. So some poor author was not aware and just went with it. And now it's a strange... Yeah.
That's like some kind of like multiverse thing, isn't it? Like, like the Star Wars multiverse where Luke and Leia were never brother and sister and free to pursue the... Yeah.
Free to pursue that like little crush they have.
I don't even want to finish that thought, it's just like
Hey, Milk Toaster Pastry. It's good to see you. Haven't seen you in ages. I hope you're doing well.
Tauntaun lives matter.
They don't. I mean, they probably do a bit, but not that much.
Yeah, I mean,
as Gilb says, no, they don't.
no one's crying over that frozen Tauntaun, are they?
No. But it's warm. After a moment, you realize that Han has cut open the dead Tauntaun and is using its body heat to keep you and Luke warm while he sets up an emergency shelter. When he finally moves you both into the shelter, you have one last conscious thought, a hope that his quick thinking can keep all three of you from freezing to death. Then you drift off to sleep. Turn to page 19. You're in a back attack.
Made a dead Tauntaun sleeping bag yet?
Oh, that much, yeah. Guys, that
must
exist.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
there must be someone on Etsy making that.
Watch one of the viewers link us to a product now. Just like, yeah, there you go.
I'm hoping like someone's got like links to their like Instagram page where they're in it.
Yeah,
you can just show me like curled up in a Tauntaun. So page 19, you wake up in the morning inside the emergency shelter. Your eyes are closed and you can hear the crackle of comlink static. You also hear the sound of snoring. It's Luke right next to you. You sit up, thrilled to realize that you're still alive.
Han!
You say, shaking Solo awake.
Get up!
Han stretches and yawns, then suddenly stops in mid-stretch. He glances over at you, then Luke, then finally laughs. We made it through the night, he cries. Just when the static crackle of the comlink cuts off and is replaced by the greatest sound you've ever heard, the voice of your rescuer. Echo base, this is Rogue 2. The voice belongs to Zev, an X-Wing pilot. You realize he must be flying overhead. Rescue is here. Han picks up the comlink and speaks. Rogue 2, this is Solo, he says. Do you copy? This is Rogue 2, Zev replies from his X-Wing high above. I hear you, do you copy? Got you loud and clear, Zev, Han replies happily. Good morning. Nice of you to drop by. I've got your homing beacon on my screen, Zev says. Be right with you. And you'll be warm soon on page 3.
Yay.
Yay.
Do you know who my favourite Star Wars character is?
Oh, who?
Jackson.
The rabbit. The green rabbit?
Yeah.
Isn't that Jackson?
Yeah, the one that everyone hates.
All right.
Yeah, that's Jackson. I've really tried to figure out which came first, him or Bucky O'Hare, and there seems to be I think the Star Wars character came first. So there's some real kind of shady shit maybe that went on with the creation of Bucky O'Hare.
I refuse to believe that.
They created the comic book character Jackson. Yeah, I know, right? It seems like they created the character of Jackson for Star Wars. Everyone hated him. So they kind of just quietly retired him. And then someone made Bucky O'Hare. And these Star Wars people are like, what the fuck?
I need to get some Bucky O'Hare clips for this stream. More people need to know about Bucky O'Hare. I love that show. Let's see. What we got in the chat? Milk Toast is asking, what was the Tauntaun's midichlorian count?
4.5.
There are 4.5 midichlorians inside every Tauntaun. Apparently even vegans don't care about Tauntauns. And right, and Sam's asked, do a Tauntaun sound just once. And what is a Tauntaun sound? It's like, ha. I don't know what a Tauntaun sound does.
I've got...
What's this? How many millions of dollars in royalties do you think you get when you write a Choose Your Own Adventure Star Wars book?
Not many, I'm going to put money on.
Yep, I imagine this is a job that you take on and you forget.
Yeah. 0.00001% of the millions. I imagine.
Lucas isn't handing out those royalties. He kept a lot of that stuff to himself, because he knew what he had. You take the comm link from Han and speak into it.
Rogue 2.
You say.
Make sure there's a med team standing by. Commander Skywalker needs immediate treatment.
A short time later, you're all back at the base. Luke is in the med lab, and you and Han finally walk over to the command center to see Leia. That was a weird sentence. Yeah. As you enter, you see her huddled over a bank of sensor monitors with General Rhea Khan and C-3PO. Everyone looks worried. Leia, what is it? Han asks. Is something wrong? Sensors just found an unidentified blip, Leia explains. We're trying to pin it down. I
don't like the sound of that.
You say. Who's this? I don't know who General Rhea Khan is. I don't think he is. I know he's not Admiral Akbar, but I'm going to do Admiral Akbar's voice.
Yep.
just because that's what's happening.
I'm ready for this.
We picked up something outside the base in Zone 12. General Rhea Khan explains. It's definitely metallic and is transmitting something.
We can't transmit messages of that magnitude.
Pardon me, Princess Leia, 3PO interrupts. I am fluent in 6 million forms of communication. This signal is not used by the Rebel Alliance. In fact, I think it highly probable that it is an Imperial code.
Sounds like trouble. Go to page 44. Give us a decision, guys.
We're just reading A New Hope now.
Just let me decide something.
It's A New Hope. It's just some asshole hanger on. We made one choice that was against the movie. We fucking died. It's
It's not even A New Hope. It's It's Empire.
Oh yeah, Empire. Sorry. I think we're about to be invaded by a little Ewok.
A tiny Ewok. A
Yeah.
small hairless Jawa.
It's all right. She can't work the door handle.
Oh, so it's actually one of the aliens from Signs. Yeah. Gibbs is with us. You're just living Empire Strikes Back now.
Yeah.
Skylar was there for like when we used to have evil choices. Oh yeah, and matches will be disappointed. Oh, of course, there you are, Matches. Good to see you. Kill Admiral Akbar. He's not even in this. I was just doing the voice. Okay, right. Awesome. Thank you so much for sticking around for the long run, Dan. I really appreciate that. And okay, Milk Toaster says it's really easy to write your choose your own adventures when you don't include any choice. Well, yeah, that does make it a lot easier.
Yep.
Okay, so we're on page 44.
All right, yeah. I'm going to check it out.
You say.
I'll call in what I find. In the meantime, we should all assume this thing is the enemy.
Leia glances at you. You realize that you were spoken out of turn. She is in charge, and you should have waited. You check in with the med lab and make sure Luke is ready to travel, Leia tells you. Han, do you mind checking this thing out? Han laughs. You're just trying to keep me around, princess, he says. But I'll do it. Strictly self-interest, of course. As long as me and Chewie and the Falcon are stuck here, I want to know what's going on. Take Chewbacca with you, Leia suggests. You've got to have somebody to keep you out of trouble. Finally, she turns to Rhea Khan. General, she says, prepare for an evacuation. If this is a probe, we're going to have to get off this planet fast. We're not getting a decision. We were literally just told what to do. Give me a choice. Give me a choice book. There must be a choice in here somewhere. 52, 53.
Yeah, this reeks of I'm not being paid enough for this shit, doesn't it?
Like, I appreciate that it must be difficult to like make decisions and make choices for a book like this, but I'm like, it is literally what you're here to do. God damn it! This doesn't even have a choice either.
This is it. This is like a losing battle. This is like you're commissioned to write a choose your own adventure of The Empire Strikes Back. And it's like, well, The Empire Strikes Back is a movie, you know what I mean? It's already kind of happened, you know. So it's like,
well, like it was quite good. Like, sorry,
it's like either you just write the movie and have like a couple of choices where things end badly for people because they know what the right choice is. So it's like obviously they're trying to end it if like they make the wrong choices. It's you're trying to make like the serial of the building, you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't work. The two things are completely different. They don't translate.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I feel like when we played A New Hope, and I hope we'll get some of these in this book, but we had decisions that allowed us to be trained in the dark side by Darth Vader. Like we were able to like become an Imperial officer. So I was like kind of hoping that we would get something different. Anyway, so where are we? It isn't long before Han and Chewbacca report back to say that they have found and destroyed an Imperial probe droid. Immediately, the evacuation begins. Luke, emerging from the healing fluid of a Bacta tank, senses the fear and activity. What is it? He says.
The Imperials have found us.
You tell him. That's going to change things, he says, sighing. Rogue Squadron is going to protect the Oh, wait, no, that's you. Sorry.
That was it. Rogue Squadron is going to protect the evac ships as they leave the planet. But for now, the majority of our forces are on the ground or in snow speeders. The Imperials are sure to use walkers.
You say. No question, Luke agrees. And we don't have time to waste. I'm going to take command of the Rogues flying snow speeders. If you want to join me, you can. Otherwise, you could help with the evacuation. Make sure Leia gets off the planet safely. Maybe fly one of the X-Wings and guard the transport ships. So, loads of options, but no options. I feel like I'm being gaslit by this book right now.
As long as the tagline for the book.
Oops, no options.
It's just The front cover might as well just say, "Just watch Empire." You want to read this book? Just watch Empire again. It's the same.
Suddenly, in the distance, you hear the sounds of battle. Snow speeders fire their blasters. Imperial walkers retaliate with thundering explosions. They're here, Luke says. He looks at you for a decision. If you go with Luke and fly a snowspeeder, you can buy the rest of the rebellion more time to escape. But if you fly with Rogue Squadron, you will actually be protecting the escaping transports, not to mention Princess Leia. And you may have a better chance to survive the evacuation of Hoth yourself. And I swear to God, chat, if you vote for doing what the movie does.
Yeah, although, to be honest, they're both kind of what the movie does, aren't they?
I suppose you're right. Yeah, you are. But I think at least, like, if we go in the snowspeeder, we know that exact scene and that sequence and all of that. Whereas,
as well, if we go in the snowspeeder, we definitely die.
Oh yeah, because his co-pilot definitely dies.
Yeah, he gets
That's a very good point.
Fuck that. Let's help with the evacuation.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Luke. I'll look after your sister.
See, it's not gross when I'm into it.
Yeah. I'm just like him, but not related to you.
So, guys, what are we thinking? Are we thinking that we're going to fly a snowspeeder against the walkers? Let's not. Let's go to page 81. You guys with me? I mean, no one's in the chat, but thank you, Patrick. Patrick, then, yeah. So don't go with Luke. Maybe we can die and switch to something else.
That.
Okay. Sam said we might not see Yoda. That's true. That could prevent us from going to see Yoda. But it could take us to the dark side.
Patrick knows what's up.
Skylar says evacuate. Gilb says evacuate. So let's go do it. So help with the evacuation on page 81. Okay. Let's get out of here. Oh, 89. Too far. Here we go. I'd better help with the evacuation.
I'd better help with the evacuation.
You tell Luke.
Princess Leia is too important to the rebellion and also to me. I'll feel better knowing she's getting off the planet safely.
Luke nods and moves out with the other pilots, who will be flying snowspeeders against the Imperial troops that are now landing all over Hoth. Soon, the Rebel Command Center comes under attack, but the defensive shields hold up for the moment. You help load supplies and personnel on board the transports. When half the transports are gone and the Imperial attacks are growing worse, you realize it's time to get Leia out. You find her in the command center, barking orders as though she was born to command, which of course she was. Get the wounded aboard the transports, she shouts. Consolidate all remaining units into the central defensive arc. Yes, Your Highness, the command center controller replies.
Leia?
You say quietly, not wanting to distract her, but knowing it's time to get going. Why aren't you in an X-Wing, Lieutenant? She asks. Explain yourself on page 60.
Because, I don't know.
I thought it was literally my job to come and get you, man. Like, you're supposed to be in the X-Wing with me, or on a ship at least. Oh, look at the fun we could be having. Although that is just the movie, I suppose. We were on page 60, wasn't it?
Do you remember that action figure they made of Darth Vader where he was all white? And it was like alternative universe Darth Vader where Anakin never turned to the dark side, but he still got knocked into a lava pit.
Like he just tripped?
Yeah, basically something like that. Yeah, and he they gave him the Darth Vader suit, but it was bright white instead of black, and he fought alongside Luke and Leia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, it's like anti-venom.
Yeah. I used to work in Woolworths and they had it in there. And I really wish I'd bought it now, but I didn't. No, it was cool. Yeah, the white Darth Vader.
So let's go to page 60 because look, either we've found a path that's going somewhere, or we'll die, and then we can end the stream. We've got 15 minutes left of our usual time, so
Yeah, I mean, this is like this is the one where everyone just wants it to fucking end. It's just like
I don't know. I've been enjoying this. I like these books. I think they're fun. But perhaps we'll keep the Star Wars ones away from you, Jackson.
well, no, I'm happy to play them, but I am gonna just fucking complain the whole way through. Like, you know, that's
Yeah, like I said, perhaps we'll keep them away from you, Jackson.
all right. You people can't handle the truth. All right, sorry.
That's all right.
Luke asked me to make sure you got off Hoth safely.
You explain.
Is he all right? Luke, I mean. Did the snowspeeders take the walkers down?
Most of the walkers were destroyed. Luke is on his way back to the transport bay, Leia explains. But I'm not going anywhere. Not yet. Take 3PO if you want. With all due
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I thought it was me.
As always. I mean, it should be you complaining about 3PO.
Yeah. Yeah.
With all due respect, Princess Leia, C-3PO huffs, Master Luke ordered me to remain with you at all times.
We've lost. Oh, that's not me either.
Don't worry. We've lost 2 more snowspeeders, Princess, the controller reports. Oh, my goodness. My battery is running low. These are the things that I have to do at the moment. Right. Recall them all, Leia orders. Have the pilots get to their fighters. This is it. Prepare to evacuate.
Leia!
You say more forcefully this time.
We have to go now. You're too important to the rebellion to put yourself at any extra risk.
Suddenly, Han appears behind you. Me and Chewie want to get the Falcon out of here right away. But first, we're going to make sure you get on that transport. Aren't we, kid?
That's right, Han.
You agree.
Princess?
Leia shakes her head and smiles at Han. You mean you and the Wookiee actually fixed that flying bucket of bolts you call a ship? Turn to page 88. Thank you so much for that one delicious choice you gave us, book. It's really sustaining me. You're so generous.
Yeah, I've made all of 2 choices in this book so far. Admittedly, I missed the start, but still.
No, yeah, we didn't have many at the beginning either. It's sort of been kind of like this. Don't know why. I was so surprised because again, like, not what we expected from the other book because it had it. So it'll be interesting. I will like to one day. I might have a read through before we take it on the stream. I might read through the Return of the Jedi book. See perhaps if that returns to more of a decision-based stuff. Suddenly, the command center is rocked by Imperial Walker blasts. Sparks fly and lights dim. The defensive shields are taking a beating. Princess, Imperial stormtroopers have entered the base, the controller shouts. And all but one of the transports have evacuated. Leia, that's it, Han insists. It's over. We gotta go. For a moment, Leia pauses. Then she shakes her head. Controller, give the evacuation code. All troops disengage. Then get to the final transport of all of you. She orders. She turns to you and Han. All right, let's go. With C-3PO clanking behind, you and Han rush down. With C-3PO clanking behind, you and Han rush Leia down a corridor. Han has her by the arm, but Leia pulls away. Han, will you kindly stop trying to yank my arm off? I'm hurrying, she snaps. Nice, Princess, Han replies. You try and do somebody a favor, and what do you get? Before Leia can answer, there is a huge explosion as the defensive shields are again hit. The whole tunnel shakes. The ceiling just ahead of you crashes down, blocking your way.
Han, Leia!
You shout.
Are you all right?
Hurry to page 80.
We are such a third wheel in this, aren't we?
Yeah, we really are. Like
I'm expecting the next page for Han to... Hey, kid, do you think maybe you could fuck off for 3 minutes?
Only 3 minutes, Han. Ooh.
Hey, I'm getting on.
You don't know what I got to deal with, kid. You look around. Everyone seems all right. Well, that's going to be a problem, Leia says, her sarcasm obvious.
They must have hit the power generators.
You add. Leia sighs and looks at Han. Looks like I'm with you, flyboy, she says. Han picks up his comlink and contacts the last transport, which is waiting for Leia. Transport, this is Solo, he says. You better take off right away. The south tunnel's collapsed and we can't get to you. I'll get the princess out of here in the Falcon. I copy, Solo, the transport pilot replies. Move fast. You're only one step ahead of the stormtroopers, and good luck. I get nervous when people start wishing me luck, Han grumbles. He turns to you. What about you, kid? I know you probably want to get to your X-Wing.
Yeah, what about me, mate?
If you backtrack, you'll probably
What
run
the
into
fuck
the
about me,
stormtroopers.
Han? A choice. Fucking hell.
Yeah, we've actually got one.
I mean,
let's see.
I kind of
What do you-
don't want to spend any more time with Han and Leia. You know what I mean? It's just like,
I think we've often had, everyone's been the third wheel, like usually by accident at some point. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you just go, oh yeah, sure, I'll go with you guys. Then no one else goes. And you're just stuck with some people. And you're like, oh no.
it was
Okay.
kind of like, that was my catchphrase from university. It was just like, hey, I've got a great idea. How about I fuck off?
Just looking at the comments here, we've got people voting. I think we want to go to the
I lost you for-
X-Wing. Did you? You lost me. Oh no, sorry about that. So we've got Milk Tucks the Pastry who says
Thanks,
X-Wings.
Lol, Jack.
Yeah, I don't know what bit he was lolling at. Maybe just your hatred for things, or probably just like your
We
like
can only speculate.
deserved anger. Okay, right. So
My
let's go.
deep-rooted cynicism towards Star Wars as a whole.
Right, 114. Come on. I'll settle for any ending. I just want us to get an ending now.
This is die trying to get to your X-Wing, isn't it?
Well, you don't know. We could maybe be successful. We'll find out. Let's see. So, here we are in 114.
I've got to get back to Rogue Squadron.
You say.
That last transport needs all the protection we can give it, and I'd hate to leave the fighters behind. We'll need the firepower.
You all head back the way you came and quickly arrive at a fork in the base's tunnel system. One path leads to the main bay, where the transport and X-Wings are being launched. The other leads to the maintenance bay, where Chewie has the Falcon ready for takeoff. Good luck to you, kid, Han says. Have faith, Lieutenant, Leia tells you.
I will, Princess.
You reply.
May the Force be with you.
You head toward the main launch bay, and Han and Leia go in the other direction. You laugh as you hear 3PO complaining, calling out to Han and Leia to wait up. Moments after you split up, you come to a blast door. Before you can hit the controls to open it, the door slides open on its own. Suddenly, you find yourself face to face with a squad of stormtroopers. In their center stands Darth Vader himself. Ah, Vader says. So there are... Oh, you going to do Vader?
No, I was waiting to hear your Vader.
Ah, so there are stragglers after all. You stare at Vader. Just being near him sends chills up your spine. You reach for your blaster. The stormtroopers move to fire their weapons. Be ready for page 95. That's got to be way too far up, isn't it? Where am I? I'm on the 70s. 80. 94, 95. Oh, okay. No, Vader shouts. Do not fire. I sense something in this rebel. You are a friend of Skywalker's, aren't you? I recognize you from your unfortunate visit to our Death Star. If Vader is willing to talk to you, then shooting at the stormtroopers would be foolish. You leave your blaster where it is.
Yes.
Still got you, Jackson?
I say. Yes.
I'm sorry. You say.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Luke Skywalker is my friend.
Friends are for the weak, Vader proclaims. The powerful have only allies and enemies. Then Darth turns to the stormtroopers. Go after the others. Bring me any survivors. They do not argue. A moment later, you are alone with Darth Vader. Obi-Wan Kenobi began your instruction in the Force, Vader says, as he did for me. But I learned that the real power of the Force lies in its dark side. I can teach you all that I know. Will you become my apprentice? Turn to page 75.
How is that not a choice?
I'm hoping that the choice comes up on page 75, but yeah, it feels like you just save more pages. This might be an artificial way of extending page numbers.
Yeah. David K says Trek would be a great setting for a choose your own adventure.
I absolutely agree. Star Trek would be a great setting for a
I'm
choose
back.
your own adventure.
What happened?
Oh, sorry, we lost it. Well, I just heard you saying about Star Trek and David saying that it would be a really good one for a setting for a choose your own adventure, which really would. I would appreciate that.
Pastry, sorry. Absolutely, Tuvok and Neelix fanfic where they always get smashed together with transporter accidents. That I like that. I like that. Did you ever watch
Tuvok?
Voyager?
I did. Yeah, I've watched a bit of Voyager. I like Tuvok. I quite enjoy him. He's one of the more fun Vulcans. All right. Okay. I'm going to try and get to page 75, and then I think we might try and put a bullet in the
vaguely
stream.
remember that episode.
Okay, yeah.
It's just been a disaster, hasn't it?
Okay, people, thank you all for joining us, and we're going to read through this last page and see what it says. You hesitate. If you agree, you will live and learn more about the use of the Force, even if it is with the dark side. That training may help you to eventually betray Vader and destroy him, maybe even the Empire itself. But if you die, you won't be able to help the rebellion at all, and you'll never see your friends again. On the other hand, before he died, Ben warned you and Luke about the dangers of the dark side. Darth Vader himself was once a good and noble man, but the dark side changed him, tainted him forever. Your silence angers me, Vader says. I am not a patient man.
Wait a minute, how do you know this? How do you know that Vader used to be a noble man?
I think because, with this whole... with the way the story's played out, you were with Luke when Obi-Wan... Oh, wait, no, because Luke doesn't know. Luke doesn't know.
Right.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe I'm just forgetting my Star Wars knowledge. Maybe someone does it. I don't know. Okay, so, right.
It's at the end of Empire, isn't it, that you find out that spoilers, Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Yeah, and because you know about Luke's father being like a good guy from the Clone Wars through Ben. That's a good point. By the way, people are saying page 20 because they're good, honest people. Of course, they're saying page 20. So we'll take a look at page 20, see a hint of the dark side, and then we'll leave it.
All right.
But it's been quite, as much as like this book has been strange, I've had a really good time in this stream. Like I've enjoyed hanging out with you, and all the guys in the chat have been great. Going 20, that's way up at the top, isn't it?
Yeah, the lag that we've had. I really don't know what's going on with my laptop at the moment, so apologies for that.
It's okay. I think there also might be some issues in general with my connectivity. I've had some connectivity issues with other applications. Okay, so you're accepting.
I accept.
You say quickly.
I will be your apprentice.
I love it. I love it. Excellent, Vader says. I can sense that you hate me. We will use that hatred to make you an undefeatable warrior. When the Imperials discover no one else on the Rebel base, you accompany Vader to his Star Destroyer. He gives you your own lightsaber and begins to instruct you in the ways of the Force. You train for hours and hours, trying to gain greater power. You try to stay calm and cool the way Ben Kenobi taught, and not use the dark side. But it isn't easy. The second day after the Rebel evacuation from Hoth, Vader takes you into his private chambers for another lesson. What you must learn is that the Force is not there to help you, as Kenobi might have taught you, Vader says. The Force is there to be used, the way you might use any weapon. It is there to serve you, and the way to control it is by using your emotions. Your own anger and hatred will allow you to access the greatest amount of power from the Force. And so, yeah, here we are. We have found ourselves into the dark side path of it. So, we could perhaps continue this on, but I do appreciate that I don't want to make you go through Star Wars.
I'm all right with it.
So we can see about that. And also, I know that, I know, Patrick, you're interested in moving on to something else, guys, in the chat. So you can say whether you think it'd be good to go on to a different book or to stay with this one. But for now, we'll leave that where it is on the most tantalizing bit. We are being trained in the Force.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Let's turn it off. No, before we go, just say hi to folks. Thank you so much, everyone who's been in the chat. Thank you so much. It's been really great. We had a couple of super chats. That was so generous of you. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Dan, Vader's going to kill all of you who tried that. Yeah, he probably will. He probably will kill us in the end.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Oh, David wants to know what'll be our new Sith name? Darth Idiocus. Sam saying, let
Darth
the hate
sick and
flow.
Tidicus.
And let the hate flow through you. We've got it here. And Tony Vlashin. Tony, thanks very much for showing up. It's really good to see you. Hi, this.
The dark side is actually a pretty good metaphor for my feeling in Star Wars in general now, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see that. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining. So thank you, David. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Samuel. Milk Toaster Pastry, it's really good to see you. And Gilds, it's good to see you. Patrick, thanks so much. Okay, interesting. Patrick, you want to stay with the story next week, but not continue with other options. Okay, yeah, we could try and get through to an ending and then maybe swap over to something in that episode.
Yeah, I imagine there's not long left on that path, really.
You're probably right. You're probably right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. It's been wonderful. So if you are a fan of what we're doing here, please do subscribe if you haven't already. If you're subscribing, make sure you hit the bell notification and choose all notifications, because then you get to know, one, when new videos go up, so like audiobooks or our audio comics, and also you get to know when we're streaming live. And that can sometimes be rubbish on YouTube. YouTube doesn't really like letting you know when people are live for some reason. Don't know why. Obviously, please, if you've enjoyed this, do leave us a like on the video. It really helps. But that's it from me and from my brother Jackson. It's been great to hang out with you. And if everyone could please remember
that we are all Fulcrum.